At Inogwen Empowerment, we discuss issues that shape our lives for a better tomorrow. As I grew up as a young girl, I heard from the women that were married in our village, and as I grew up, I also still had the same tale about mother-in-laws, the relationship between daughter and mother-in-laws. I also heard about the relationship between sister-in-laws and their brother spouses, and it had never been a positive information. It was never positive. I heard about the negativities that we have in the relationship between a mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. And throughout life, I have been trying to analyze the reasons why we have that hatred between, or that competition between a mother-in-law and daughter-in-laws. As a child, you were brought up by your mother and your father with a lot of love and care. And your mother has taken care of you, has watched over your lives, and wants the best for you. And in our growing up stage, a mother looks at the son and feels that she needs to protect the son. And so when a third person joins the family, she joins that family and everybody suspects that she has not come for good. She has come to ruin the family. And I realized that was one of the reasons why the relationship between a mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law is strained. Because the daughter-in-law appears to be the stranger who has come to rip the family apart. And when the mother-in-law feels that you are a problem, the daughters would follow suit in many cases because they also want to side with their mother. So in many cases you'd find a man is torn between his wife, his mother, and his sisters. This kind of hatred also comes about. I'm using the word comes because it was from the time I was a young girl. It still is manifesting even in our generation today. When a man has been brought up by his parents, they have invested in him and they're expecting 80% back to them. When the wife comes in the equation, that 80% is shared not equally. 50% goes to the wife, 30 or 20% would go to the parents. And so the parents would feel this woman has come to take away the resources of their son. And so that hatred comes in. And now on becoming a mother-in-law, I'm talking about the generation that have watched mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws relationship being strained. I'm talking about us in the generation where our children are almost bringing forth daughter-in-laws. Our sons are almost marrying. I'm talking about the generation where your sons have just married. And I'm also talking about those whose sons married ages back. The relationship between you and your daughter-in-law. I always give this example. I have a son and I have a daughter. And what I want to happen to my daughter, I would love that to happen to my son. And I would also love what the wife my son brings to me. The way I treat her, I would love where my daughter will get married to receive the same treatment. And you have a daughter who is going to get married in another homestead. What do you usually have in mind? So on becoming a mother-in-law, you need to understand that your son will live. Even the Bible says a man shall leave his father and his mother and will join with his wife. The same way you left, we have a mother-in-law, the same way you left your home and you got married into this homestead to the man that you loved and you have stayed for these years. There are things you might have gone through. Of course, there are things we have gone through. There are things you might have gone through in the hands of your mother-in-law. Would you want to take another woman's daughter through the same challenge? She makes your son happy. If you care about your son, you would leave your son, you would support the decision your son made and allow this relationship to nourish. If you desire your son to be happy, support his choice and mentor them. These are your children. Because you would also love another woman somewhere to mentor your daughter, to take care of your daughter. I always give examples to my fellow women when they have issues with their mother-in-laws. I always tell them, even if you are to stay with your own parental mother, you would still have issues with them. Because there are things your mother would want you to do or to handle yourself that you will not be in agreement with. And so there is a place you'll brush shoulders with them negatively. But that does not mean that you'll hate your mother. And in the same way as you stay with your mother-in-law, there are things that you will not agree with. Keep your distance. As a daughter-in-law, keep your distance. Do not abuse them. It is because of your mother-in-law that you have your husband. Of course, she may not treat you very well, but do not retaliate. Do not pay back. She is your husband's mother. Love her if you love your husband. On becoming a mother-in-law, those who are becoming mother-in-laws, let us change this issue of mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws battles. Let us change it from mother-in-law to mother-in-love. Love them and love your daughter-in-laws. Love your daughter-in-love, because love reciprocates love. What you plant is what you receive. You may plant maize, very, very hybrid seeds, and then you may not receive hybrid return, but at least you'll receive maize. So keep on planting good, and it shall be well. Let us make our children comfortable, our grandchildren comfortable, by loving the daughter-in-laws that we have. Mother-in-laws, let us change. Let us change the equation. Let it now be that a relationship between a daughter and a mother-in-law is so good compared to the relationship with even that mother and their son-in-law. Thank you so much. We shape lives. We train each other because the society has to be better than it was yesterday. God bless us so much. Thank you.